Good morning and welcome to Trade with Cam. It's 8 a.m. on episode 234. And what is gold doing this morning? Bit of a rebound, the 4,000. Interesting. Can it hold it? That's the hard decision, isn't it? That's the absolute, the $64 million question is, can gold hold these levels? Well, it seems that overnight we've had some easing of the tensions of the United States and Iran. Oil has eased back a little, so gold immediately goes on a run. I think it's been dying too, been very, very suppressed over the last number of months that the dispute has gone up. First it shot up, and as it does in any war, then it came down. And we were very, very kind of confused as to why it was doing that. But then when you look at history, it's done that all the time. Every conflict that it has ever been, it's come down, and it will start rising as tensions ease and certainty returns. And of course, it's tied to whatever happens in the US in terms of interest rates and inflation. Inflation goes up, interest rates go up, money gets more expensive. More importantly, there's more interest paid on savings, so gold takes a bit of a backseat. That's kind of where it goes, yeah? So a lot of that we don't concern ourselves with. What we are is day traders, and we make our money trading gold. And I've been doing that for about 5 years now. And my colleagues and I, we've got about 15, 20 years of experience now combined between us in terms of the team that brings all of this. So it's an education channel. Trade with Cam means literally that. We'll break down trades. We'll look at probability-based trading scorecards that we use, all based with technology, no human being, no emotions. So we go through those. We'll take the first one, 8:05. Just, excuse me. Where did that come from? Right. Anyway, so I'm a full-time gold trader and educator, and this is what really, really drives me. My background's financial services and property, and I feel that this is my true calling. So being in front of you today, we're really, really is a pleasure to take you through trading. Any questions you've got, just pop them on in the conversation, please, yeah? Because that's the way we learn. It's your session, it's for you, it's not for me, okay? So I'll trade with you when I can, because obviously doing this means I can't concentrate 100% on my trading. I had a smashing day yesterday. Where would it be in the realms of where I was? 1% would give me that about 6% I did yesterday on my own account. Yeah, absolutely fabulous day. And then what happens is that when I've reached my targets, I think if I don't trade the next day, it doesn't matter. So I'll take that. I don't go harder like I used to when I first started trading. Nothing was enough. 10% wasn't enough. 15% wasn't enough. And that's a gambler's mentality, and that's not what we want. Okay, we're not gamblers. We're business people. We're traders, and we're here to either supplement our income, or to replace our income, or to look at it completely as a business, as a way of life for us. Because this is the only thing that's going to decouple you from the 9 to 5. Right? 9 to 5 means turning up 9 to 5 the next 40 years or 30 years or whatever time you've got left, then hoping that you get some kind of pension, you can enjoy yourself when you retire. Well, why not retire? Why not enjoy yourself now? And this is what this business will give you. Okay? This is what this, and everything that I'll teach you is nothing that anybody taught you at school. They didn't teach it to me, so they're not teaching it to you. So that's kind of where I come from, and that's who I am. So in terms of gold, what do we do when we first start? Well, we look at what the day's been doing. Okay, I'm going to bring the chart up for you. So huge buying day yesterday. Or when I say yesterday, I mean since the market opened. Yesterday didn't do much. So market opens at 11 o'clock in Sydney, and this is where we're at, okay? So that's where it starts from. So this is the day. These are what the days have been doing in gold, okay? That's the current price. That's the price range. It's been from the 4,000 to 4,084. So 47 at the moment, eased up a little bit. And gold rises, US rentals high. Yeah, so they're talk to each other. So we'll get a bit of hope. And this is what the hours have been doing. So we look here at 11 o'clock, sold for the first hour, then since then it's really been buying. Now, can it hold to 4,000? Oh, it's holding so far. It's been up to almost 4,000. And 100. So we're going to take the first trade card at 8:05. If you don't have access to that, so you're new, then if you click on that QR code, there's no obligation whatsoever. It's completely free. All right, completely free. You can have access to the trade cards. Okay, so that's your bit, and you are quite welcome to those. Completely free. Okay, nobody's going to ever try and sell. We don't sell courses. We don't sell weekend retreats. We don't sell anything. Okay, pure education. And if you then want to join us, then the only thing we ask you to do is work with a broker that we work with. Apart from that, there's nothing. So 8:05, buy 67% probability from 77 onwards. It's a red candle, so I don't usually enter a buy on candle or a buy on a red candle, or I don't enter a sell on a green candle. It's just things that get me good. See what happens, right? And the market could be turning now. Maybe it's topped out at 75. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So we're certainly not in a position whereby we're going to just rush into the market. So we hold steady whilst this kind of stuff's going on, okay? And wait. So if you've got the scorecard that's indicating, remember the data's never wrong, okay? The data comes out and it's bang on. It'll do what data does. So, yeah, there you go. That's the time probably to look at entering the market. So now we've got a candle that's green, and that's when I would be looking to enter. So 77, 79 is TP1. So you could have had a better entry than the trade card suggested. So we've been doing this for about 3 months now, yeah, and so I don't kind of mollycoddle you through the trades any longer. You know, you can see the scorecard, the trade card. You can see what it's doing. If you've got questions on it, ask me. But I will try and educate you, because your mentality and your business plan and where you are here really makes all the difference in trading. That you win and lose a trade of what's in your head, because that's how you react. Right? That's how you react. So if I look away, I've got a screen over here and I've got a screen over there. So that's where I am in terms of just managing my own business. Enjoying a nice cup of tea. Tell me where you're joining us from, and tell me what you're doing and what brings you here. Yeah, what is it about trading that appeals? Yeah. What is it that you're thinking in terms of, you know, do you want to be a trader? Are you full-time? Are you doing it? We get a lot of traders actually from across the globe now, Africa, India. I had something on from Iran the other day. Just chewing the fat, sharing. A few of the African boys have joined us in terms of opening their accounts with our broker, which gives them access to the full system. So has it hit? No, it hasn't hit TP. It did hit TP1. I tell a lie. It did hit TP1 there. Yeah. So it's going up now. So if you look at the market, it looks as if it's coming down here, but there's always a retracement, and there's always the data points to it selling. And I don't argue with the data because it takes 30 odd million data points before it comes to the conclusion that it does. So in that respect, as a human being, nobody can compete. We can't compete with that level of information that the system has. Just going to have a look at something, just checking out some data of my own. Okay, beautiful. So it's hovering around there. It's been up. I wouldn't, like I said to you, I don't enter a buy trade when the market's selling or vice versa. So that is my kind of golden rule. If you adapt that, you do well. The other thing is that when you come into trading in terms of sitting down in the morning, whenever you decide, is what you want to do is have a day diary with you and decide on what it is that you want from the market, because it's like having a satellite navigation for your business. Okay, so full page per day, open it up, write down your balance, write down what you want as a percentage and what that represents as money. And I now even write down the time that I'm available to do that. Because if you want a 10% gain in your account today, but you've only got 10 minutes to do it, those two things are not going to happen. So what you want to do is remove the conflicts that you have. Yeah? And a conflict might be that you've got a £1,000 account, but your goal is to make £500 a day. £10,000 a month. That's 50% a month. You're putting too much stress on your account, and the chances are you're going to blow that account. Okay, so that would be a conflict within what's going on in the parameters. Okay, and then when you first start off, if you have a small account, if you can't throw 20 or 30,000 pounds or something ridiculous like that, and I would say the minimum in that sphere would be about $10,000 or pounds. If you can't put that kind of money to it, then it's highly unlikely that you're going to replace your salary straight away. It's going to take you time. That's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Because a 1 to 2% gain on £1,000 is quite significant. It's not when it first starts, it's 10 or 20 pounds a day. But 10 or 20 pounds a day is between 50 and 100 pounds a week. Okay, that's between 200 and 400 pounds a month. Now that can be a significant income as a side hustle, something that you do, maybe takes you an hour a day. So it can be very, very good. And then if you keep compounding, if you don't withdraw, you don't get all excited and think, oh, let's go and spend it. If you actually store the eggs, then what happens is that you start compounding. And compounding is the secret to the world's wealth. It's the secret to everybody's wealth. Morning, Alex. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Compounding is the secret to everybody's success and wealth. House prices going up, compounding. Money in the bank going up, compounding. Companies, shares, compounding, buying more. Yeah. So that's a real secret to what's going on in the world. So if you can compound your account, absolutely wonderful. So market's been coming down, yeah, and continues to come down. I didn't take the signal at 10 past, which you could have done. So we take it every 5 minutes. I'm going to take it now. It was still saying buy, but I wouldn't use that because it's 13 minutes past. And you've got 2 minutes before the next one's available. It's very important, by the way, if you're taking the 5 minutes, take it just after the hour, just after the 5 minutes has gone, and just slightly after, because otherwise you can get a stale old trade card that's maybe a minute out of date. We don't want that. Okay. So now we have a market that's probably ranging around this level. I'll have a look at a bit at the wider charts. and the wider time frame. So if you look at the last 5 minutes, last 15 minutes, what has it done? 30 minutes. So it just repeated what it did 30 minutes ago. So it went up, came down. So there may not be a lot of upward movement left now in the market. It's already up 1.6% on the day. So it's up about $85 an ounce from where it started. That says 64, so it just depends on the time frame they're taking. Yeah? Gold rises as the talks rise. And I've talked about this before, over time, again and again and again, that the price of gold depends on what's happening in Iran and the US, what's happening to oil prices. They're obviously they're actually related to the war. And then obviously the costlier petrol is, the costlier everything else is. Inflation goes up, interest rates go up, comes down. Right? This morning it's going up because they're thinking peace talks, oil lower, gold up. Okay, and that's what they're betting on. And the more you understand, you might think, what the hell's that got to do with me? I just want to follow these trade cards. But the more you understand about your subject, the more informed you are, the better the decisions you're going to make. Okay? And that's what we're trying to get to. Not just be reliant on things, reliant on me or reliant on trade cards, but to try and understand the market yourself. Okay? I would not be calling myself an educationalist if I didn't educate you. Okay, so we're here for a couple of hours. I hope you can stay. If you can't stay, we've got 233 episodes you can watch. We have one every day. So anything you want to know in terms of problems with your trading, or how you should approach something, just ask me in the comments and I'll answer it as honestly as I possibly can. And if I don't know it, I'll tell you. Okay, so that's where we're at. 15 minutes. Okay, let's see what happens. The market there may be a choke, which is change of, so neutral, right? So I was going to say there may be now a change of character. It's called a choke. Change of character in the market where it starts selling, whether it's topped out. We don't know, is the short answer. We will do. The answer just develops, doesn't it? Over and over time, yeah? Just reading some messages. Okay, so we've got that. We've got that. That's interesting. That's my tea finished. Okay, so we've had a neutral on the trade card, which means the data is pointing at possibly a change in direction. May go back to set buying, but a neutral is a time when you've got 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time that frame you're on, to actually reflect and think, what am I doing with this? Okay, where am I going with it? Where's the market going? And it's time to, perhaps read a little bit and learn about your market. Look at the different time frames. Read some of the news that's here. Unfortunately, now TradingView have made it that the news is only available if you pay for a service, but there's lots and lots of other websites where you can get the news on what gold is actually doing. And if that's your chosen subject, my suggestion to you is that if you're starting out, don't go and trade everything that's available. Don't be trading Bitcoin, crypto, and foreign exchange and metals. Stick to one thing, because that will really help you in the long run. Okay, that will be a real help for you, and that's the way to run these things. Specialists have always paid more money. Okay, so we watched football, the World Cup final, really enjoyed the games, and each player is a specialist. The goalkeeper specializes in goalkeeping, the striker is a striker, the midfielder is a midfielder, the right backs are right backs. So everybody has a role, and you'll see, we have the player of the tournament, and then we have the young player of the tournament. I don't know the goalkeeper of the tournament, but all of those things because they're specialized. So I have chosen to specialize in trading gold. That's what I trade. And I could trade anything I liked, but no. And then in the early days, I used to do a bit of currency. I used to do a bit of crypto. No, I don't do that. And I use the fact that the gold market's closed at the weekend as a rest period. Yeah. It's time, the trading should serve you. You shouldn't have to serve trading. Okay, market's now rising. It's coming up to 19 minutes past. We'll get the next trade card in the next minute, and then we'll see what that's doing, whether the data, and remember what you've got to do is you've got to change your relationship with the data that's coming through. The data is the data, it's correct. The market sometimes doesn't behave to where the data is because market can be emotional because people are in the market, right? You and I. So sometimes our emotions can take over, or there might be a whale of a trader that thinks, gold is too expensive or too cheap or whatever that might be. At 4,080, they might think this is a bit of a bargain. Yeah, we might buy. Or they might think, God, we've made some money. We bought low. Let's sell it. It's topping out. So lots of things. And then hedge fund managers are realigning their portfolios all the time when prices are going up. They might be stuck in positions that they need to get rid of. So it's not always obvious why it's doing what it's doing. The data is the data. So it's 20 past. Buy. Yeah, 66%. Some borderline as to whether that is a good enough. And you must decide that. So what you'll get is you'll get a probability-based score, which says that the direction confidence is this much, and that's expressed as a percentage. At the moment, that's 66%. That may be enough for you, may not be. Depends on your risk tolerance and your preferences. Only you can decide that, right? Being in the market, doing what we do, you're probably, pretty used to a bit of risk, which is good. It's not a bad thing. Why is my camera doing this? Got a mind of its own. The market's still coming down. Got a buy up there. So I wouldn't be entering. Okay? I would not be entering this trade at this time. Because I think to myself, you don't know how far it can come down before it reverses. It's 22 minutes past. We had a really slow start yesterday as well. The first couple of trade cards and the market was very, very strange. And then it settled down and we had a fantastic morning of TP2s, 3s, 4s. I don't think we hit a 5 yesterday, but yeah, certainly 3s and 4s. We had a lot of those. So let's see if it settles down. London sometimes takes a few minutes to sort itself out. The trading day is huge. I'm with you for a couple of hours. But obviously, you've got the rest of the day to trade and make your money and leave the market. Okay. Just checking because I have a fully automated system as well that runs on my accounts, and that's kicked into action this morning. Doesn't trade a lot, probably 40-50 trades a month if that, and then but it takes them when the opportunities are there or when it sees the opportunity being there. So it's always interesting in terms of what it's trying to do and what it's doing. And so when that's obviously operating, I try not to keep out of it as it's attached to my accounts. You should say you shouldn't do that, but it is what it is. I've got some accounts obviously that I don't touch. There's one that I trade as well as letting the system run it. And that's always interesting. So market's still deciding now where it wants to go. I need to stop it tracking. Right, 10 now. There you go. So it's disconcerting when it's doing that. Right. So there's not a lot of movement in the market. So what is it doing? It's consolidating. It's picking up liquidity. It's working out where it wants to go, what the direction is, and it's at that, you know, we said this morning, and it hold 4,000, and it's being pulled back a little bit, I think, this morning. We'll see where it goes. I think whilst there's hope of talks, you know, it can hold on to some of its gains, and unless you're an investor, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we don't buy and hold, or sell and hold. You know, we trade the market, so we can make money if it's going up or down, whatever it does, and that's where it's at. But she continues on her way down. Let's see what the hour's looking like now. So yeah, selling hour, interesting. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of buying. So 25, perhaps there'll be another trade card that we could have pulled down. And that was actually a sell. So it's buying and selling. So the market is moving in terms of changing the character of what it's doing. Okay. So we've had some buys, we've had some neutrals, we've had some sells, and that's a ranging market. Doesn't mean you can't make money at it. If you pulled that down at 26 minutes past, 25, that's profit all the way. That's 5 minutes been set. That's why we use the 1 minute chart, because it actually helps. And if you want to see the trade cards that I'm seeing, just click on that QR code there. Right? Get your camera out, click on it, and see what transpires. Continues its downward trend. So that would be TP1. If you're in that trade, that would be TP1 for you. $27 minutes. I'll concentrate a little bit more on the trade cards with you now and see where it's going. How you getting on, Alex? Hope you're well. Are you trading this morning? And who else is trading this morning with me? So a bit of a reversal. And so we go through the same process. We rinse and repeat the same process. We enter, stop loss, TP. Set those three. And you got to define out, outcome. You know exactly what's going to happen with that trade. You know what you can lose, you know what you can make, and something in the middle, right? So you know when it's gonna stop you out and you're gonna lose a bit of money, and you know when it's gonna make you money by hitting your TP. And that will remove a lot of anxiety. I'm not saying losing money is good, but it's feedback, right? And it means you keep your account rather than, losing it. So that's the good thing about trading in that way. Whereas you place your trade, put your stop loss in, and put your TP in. The clever part of that is something that we call trailing your stop loss. So that's about trade management. So the first part is placing the trade. The second part is trade management. The way you do that is, say for instance, now you've got a sell-in, right? You put your stop loss in. As soon as you've entered, you put your take profit in. Then as the market comes down, you move that stop loss progressively, not very tightly. Don't strangle the trade because it'll stop you out. Okay? And the reason you don't strangle the trade is because you're not afraid of losing some money. Okay? You can't keep losing money, but you should not be afraid of losing money. It's business. And sometimes in business we lose money. Okay? It's a simple fact. And what you don't want to do is let a few small losses chase you out the market. It should be part of your business plan, especially in the early days. This is about as safe as we can make it. It's a very, very risky, it's a high risk strategy to trade and try and make money out of the market. By using stop losses, by using TPs, we're removing the uncertainty to a certain level. We know then only this can happen, only that can happen. It's that simple. Okay? Only this is going to happen, only that's going to happen. Which is fine, right? We can live with that. So trailing your stop loss, what it means is that as your trade comes more and more into profit, you can move your TP further and you can move your stop loss further. And then you get to a point whereby if your stop loss is equal to your entry point, it becomes a free trade. It means the worst you can do on that trade is break even. Okay? So that's kind of stage one of any trade that you're in, by managing it to that point, that you get it to that point. Sometimes it's too quick. Okay? And if it hits TP1, you want to take it, forget about everything else that I've said. But this is about, trading in a slowish market that's moving like it is today. Okay, so that's TP. Well, we should have taken another one at half past, which we will. Still selling, 57%. So not the most confident in terms of where it's at, but it's still saying it's selling. So you decide whether you need to take that or not. You're in charge of that. It's not my decision. So when you get these trade cards and it's 57%, 42%, whatever, that decision's got to be yours. It's got to be mechanical. You've got to say that's below 60, I'm not taking it. Or it's above 50, I'm taking it. As soon as you hesitate, the market moves. And sometimes it can take you out in terms of TP1's hit straight away with one candle move. So whereas you could have had profit whilst you're dithering and thinking about it, the thing moves on, right? It's a fast moving market. So we had a sell, candles a buy, don't enter, okay? And if you did enter, that was 2 minutes ago, which was this candle here. That was dropping and it just about got to TP1. Okay, so respect the market and it will respect you, is what I'm saying. It's simply that. Okay, as soon as you start getting fast and loose with the market, it'll take you out, honestly. And I've had it done to me too many times. And I want you to avoid it, okay? I don't want you to get taken out of the market. If we can go a whole year without anybody blowing their account whilst you're working with me, that's the proudest thing. Whatever money you make is yours. Right? I don't have a part of that. I don't want a part of that. I make enough of my own, and that's where I want to be. I want to educate you I want to teach you that this is possible. I had an awful message from somebody yesterday that they'd given their money over to somebody, and all of a sudden they've got this pack of lies. I don't want to go into it, obviously. Got a pack of lies from the person that they were dealing with, and it's heartbreaking for me to hear that and read about that. Okay, it's awful, and it's not where we want to be in life. So this is why we don't ever attempt to take custody of your funds. They're in your account, your broker. You withdraw, you put money in, you take money out. It's up to you. It's your money. We just merely are the conduit for you to be able to trade, offer you some guidance and some education so you're profitable. Okay? So no courses, no fees, no nothing. It's completely free. We don't charge anything. There's no sting in the tail. I'm not going to be ringing you up tomorrow and say, oh, by the way, it's now £10 a session or anything like that. Okay? That's never going to happen. This will always be free. And I'll do it for as long as I want to do it. And the day I want to stop, I'll stop. Okay? So, market really has been difficult for 30, 40 minutes. Really difficult. Because it's going up and down unpredictably. There's no range. It's not ranging. It may form a range. So it retrace back to 68, 66, going back up now. So maybe it'll do the 4100 today. I hope so. It'd be great. Been in the doldrums for ages. Too long. Far too long. It's tracking me again, isn't it? Let me see if I can turn it off. Where are you? Yeah. Just seeing if I can turn it off before we take we should be taking, right, that should not be tracking me down. We should be taking the next trade card. Where are we? Buy. Rightly so. Market's buying. I think this will trace him back now. Not recommending anything to you. Never ever follow my trades or me saying do this, do that, because I'm not saying that at all. I said, I think it's buying now, right? I think it's had its little retracement, and I think now's the time that it's going to turn around. I'm just watching my trades, that's all. Because like I said, I've got an automated system as well. So if you don't want to trade yourself, you've got something that will do it for you. And I'm obviously in all of those. Just watching what it's doing is fascinating for me, how the market's interpreted by a fully automated system. It's not this, by the way. It's completely not related. Thank you very much. Cup of tea. So yeah, come and say hi. If you've got any questions, ask those. For about 35, 36 minutes into our session, that was a buy. And that would be, we're heading towards TP. We've had TP1 on that. That little spike there was TP1. Interesting. By the way, thank you if you've subscribed. Really appreciate that. About 1,100 of you now, which is absolutely incredible in 3 months. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you press the bell icon and like the video, really appreciate it. The bell icon will give you a notification of when we're live. So when I'm live in the morning, it'll tell you that, just to give you a quick reminder in case you forget, because busy times in the morning, right? And if you like the video and subscribe, that just helps me. Yeah, that's just you saying to YouTube, this is great stuff. I like it. And that's all I ask for. Nothing else. Okay, absolutely nothing else. So again, market being very, very, very cautious and very slow. That doesn't mean you can't make money. Okay? If the market's moving and it's open, you can make money. But always do it with careful. Don't get, brave and bravado. Do it with information. Do it mechanically. Do it automated. Don't do it with emotion. Market's coming good. So we said we had a buy, got 38 minutes. Very slow. Just want to take a look at my accounts a little bit closer than I have been while they're over there. Okay. The market's moving in the right direction in terms of where we are for our trade cards. If you're enjoying the education, if there's things that you want me to cover that you don't know, ask the question. Okay, I don't know what you guys want unless you tell me, okay? And I'll address it. I'll address anything that you want to know. Keep it intelligent and keep it professional, obviously. Right? So 73, got 40 minutes. We're going to take the next trade card. Neutral, understandable. Market's done nothing. So let's sit on our hands. If you're in trades, manage them. Make sure your stop loss is where you need it to be. Make sure your TP is where you need it to be. And sometimes when the market's doing this, if there's a little bit of profit there, and I think, that's not you think, I think that, maybe it's going nowhere, then I will pull out of the trade. Morning, Ian, how you doing? And that's where it's at. Okay, so just stop thinking for yourself, where do I want this business to go? Where's the plan? Where do I want to be in 6 months or a year from now? It's all mindset trading is. So we had a neutral, which means you wouldn't have entered a trade. And if you have, then manage it, obviously. And the thing that you'll find where I am is I don't need you to be pressing the button all the time. That's not what I encourage. I encourage you to trade professionally in a way that suits you and your account, and your circumstances, and everything that you want to do. Okay, we're in this game for a long haul. I mean, 3 to 5 years is short term. Get rich quick, never happen. Yes, pick whatever you got on the lottery. 74 is TP1. Sorry, my apologies, it was neutral, wasn't it? So easy just to go back into default. Because the system's still there, obviously, just as neutral. So if you've got access to it, and if you haven't, just press that QR code and we'll get you access. So it's had this, if you look at this now, if you look at the hours since the market opened last night, which was here somewhere, that's 11 o'clock last night. So there, the market opened here, there, right? So we just had buy, about $85. So you can understand that at some point, it's going to have a period of consolidation. It's going to have a think about where it wants to go next. And the 15 minutes you can see, 30 minutes you can see we've had the retracement. 5 minutes, there's obviously more of it. 1 minute. So it's like zooming in on your sat nav, more and more and more and more and more. So in 2 minutes we get another trade card. if you're on the 5 minutes. And if you're on the 15, it's time for trader card at 45, isn't it? I work at the 5 minutes when I'm on here. Sometimes I'll go to 15 minutes. Mostly I'll go to an hour if I'm trading in the evening, because I don't want to be bothered with it in terms of I don't want to be watching it all the time. So I'll go to an hour, put my trade in, put my stop loss in, and walk away. And I do that in the evening as well. If I'm going to leave a trade open, then I'll just put that in and just go. I don't do that on the 5 minutes. So you can use the system different parts of the day in terms of what you're doing. So the whole idea of where I am with all of this is that trading's got to serve you. And we've got traders now that trade the Asian session from 11 till 1. And they're done for the day. They do 2 hours, finish trading. Don't trade during the daytime at all. Because that suits them. So where does she go from here? So we've hit it's been between 40.70 and 40.80. Been down to that 67 down there, but 3 cents, right? Neither here nor there. So you've got the option now. The thing is that somebody that's doing analysis of the market, technical analysis, may be able to give us 10, 20 pips here. Yeah. Or maybe here. And we can do that. But the thing is then you still don't have the option of pulling it down when you want to. So when we get neutrals, and don't let it frustrate you, because remember, this is a completely different system. It runs when you want to push the button rather than when a signal provider pushes the button. So we've turned it on its head, but it suits you. But then sometimes it's going to be that we have to sit on our hands. You don't have to be in the market all the time. So 45 would be the next trade card that we pulled. Selling. But that I'm 1 minute behind, so you could have pulled that. But the candles were green up until then. Now it's a sell. So now you've got to decide whether that meets your criteria. 58%, not the highest probability. So whilst we've got a little bit of time in terms of the market is doing whatever it wants to do, that is TP1 by the way, so it is selling. I used to have an office back in the day. I'd come home and I'd leave my wife in her office, and I'd come back, she'd be in her office, and I would say, how you doing? She said, didn't trade, didn't see any opportunities. Missed a couple, but I didn't see any. Quite happy to do that. Research, work all day, educate yourself, and yet not take a trade. I used to think, good God, good than this, good than that. She was right and I was wrong. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Really interesting, Alex. So the indicator stuff was stuff that I used to use before this. So the trade cards are much better than the indicators. There's lots of them around. There's RSI. I've got 2 here, got pivot points, Fibonacci, but you need to understand them. I only have them because I like this. This kind of tells me that the market is bottoming out or topping out, but it can be completely wrong. So the best, if you're asking my advice, the trade card is the best indicator that there is out there at this moment in time. There isn't anything that's better, that's more predictive in terms of where the market's going. So if you imagine, so indicators are all about history. What we're trying to do is we're trying to predict what's happens in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes in the future. We're taking 32 million data points to do that. So an indicator must do the same. This has been designed specifically to do this job. An indicator is usually designed to make you push the button because it's done by brokers. And that's where I am with that. So I don't use them any longer. I used to have lots. I used to have RSI, the daily moving average, they're called SMAs. You get volume indicators. There's tons of them out there. And TradingView will sell you them, and so will other people. And personally speaking, stick with this. It's 85, 90% right. If you like the technology, if you like to be able to trade when you want to trade, that's the way to go. There's plenty of individuals that give signals, some of them 2-3 a week, 2-3 a month, depending on their trading style. Some of them will give you 23, 30, 40, 50 of them a day. The scalping, which we've used in the price of sales, and some of our clients still do. But nobody knews using that system, because if you look at where AI is, and look at the progress it's making literally on a day-to-day basis. Neutral, yeah. Look at the progress it's making on a day-to-day basis. Okay, it's multiplying its intelligence literally in front of our eyes, and that's where it's at. Yeah, so that's my inner thought, Alex, in terms of where indicators are. And I know you've got access to the trade cards. Use those, study those, look at the guide that's in the Telegram group, read that, watch them. Yeah, in comparison to what's going on with your own accounts. What I find is sometimes we panic when we're in a trade and we're in a drawdown. Professional trading doesn't do that, just leaves it. If my partner gets in a drawdown, she just leaves it. Yeah, it'll be fine. All the work's been done. We get scared of a small loss. We want the pain to end by pressing the button, and then we blame the system. Just experience. Be calm and really, really take your time and trade like a pro, which is that you're committed to doing this over a number of years. You're committed to growing your account, committed to the income that you want, whether it's a side hustle. And the side hustle, that income should be £500 or dollars plus. Right? Because $20, $50, $30 is not going to make any difference to your life, and you're just wasting your time. Yeah, but £400-500 a month makes a difference. That's a car payment, isn't it? That's a large proportion of your rent. That's your council tax and then some. Yeah, that's your utilities paid for. So what is it you want from this? And and if you put it out into don't want to do woo-woo, but if you put it out in the universe, you usually get what you ask for. We're just too vague about it, that's all. And the reason we get what we ask for is because we automatically start pulling. Yeah, we automatically start doing the things because we've sent a message to your brain that I want this. So when we first started this 3 months ago, it was to get an audience. Yeah, the more audience, the bigger the audience, the bigger the difference you can make, right? And that's what I wanted to do, is have a huge impact. So our focus immediately went to building the audience. And 3 months later, over 1,100 subscribers, traders that are interested in what we're doing. They watch the videos when I'm not live. They ask me questions. People join me here for the live, they trade, and we're having an impact, aren't we? But if you can't have the people, then you can't have the impact. So the first thing was to build an audience, and that's what we're doing, day by day by day by day by day. We've got a target for where we want to be at the end of the month, end of the year, end of the quarter. And your business just, as soon as this is finished, I'll have a look. How many people viewed today's video? How many people viewed yesterday's and the day before? Is that building? Use AI to say, hey, are we building? Where could we be? This morning it was like, conservatively, we'll be at 6,000 at the end of the year. And if we're optimistic, then we're 10 to 12,000. Yeah. So whatever you want, and if it's a monetary thing, I want to earn this much per month, put it down, write it down in your journal. And if it's a case of, I want to sack my boss, write it down. I have my own business, I have my own side hustle. Change my career. I want to be a full-time trader. What do you need for that? You need some skills. You need to be able to read these cards. You need capital. You need enough money that a reasonable return would give you the income that you need. And a friend of mine, Liam Ryan, teaches this. It's really good. He said, if you want to sack your boss, you don't need to replace your salary. Okay? Which was strange when I first heard it. Why do you need to replace your salary? 55. Let's take the last trade card of the hour at least. Let's see what it's doing. Sell. 62%. There's your sell. It's going down. So you can track that now. If you've got the trade cards, if you haven't got the trade cards and you put a sale line, press that button. That might save your bacon today. Right, let's see if you no offense. I realised just what I said. So I know some people may find that offensive. My job is not to cause. I don't care. I'm agnostic about stuff like that. Just to say. So anyway, you got that. So Liam Ryan teaches something. He says you don't need to equal your salary to sack your boss. You need to get to about 70% of it. So 70% of whatever you're coming out with, do that. What about the other 30%? He says give up your latte lifestyle. Okay. Give that up. Give up the takeaway, give up the booze, give up the lattes. That lifestyle that you've built up around work usually represents about 30% of your income. In order to get something, you've got to give something first. Yeah, the price has to be paid. And that is working hard for a year, maybe 2 years, to get to where you want to. I did a year of 7 days a week. I had a full-time job and I started my business as a side hustle. Did it for a year, 7 days a week. I used to be off on a Friday, I used to be off on a Sunday, and I worked both those days for a year, as did my wife. So we did 7 days a week. I had a business partner, he did the same. He used to work Monday to Friday. So Saturdays and Sundays, he was working the business. Friday and Sunday, I was working the business. And so we had a business that we did for 3 days a week because I could do the Friday and he could do the Saturday, and then we both did the Sunday. And we did it for about a year, never took a single penny out, saved every bit of profit that we made. And we had a nice sum by the end of that year. And that's when I quit my job, went into it full time. Then about 4 months later, he quit his job, went into it full time. It's weird. Press something on mine. So 58 minutes. We haven't had probably 3 or 4 TPs, but generally speaking, the market's been ranging. So it's a TP one day when it's not, I haven't got any clear direction. So let's have a look, see what the hour's done. So it's just sold half the retracement. So now might be the time when it wants to go back up. Yeah, so it's almost a 50. So if you look at the size of that candle for that, the body of those is come down by about 50%. Okay. And then we'll see what it wants to do in the next hour. So does it continue to ease up, or does it start buying again? So the trade cards have been buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, neutral, buy, sell, neutral. And at 5 minutes, we can take 12 of those in an hour. So what should you be doing when you're not trading? Educating. Every day is a school day. Learn to trade, learn about yourself, what kind of trader you want to be. I talk a lot about this stuff now because trading is a very small part of it. I could have made a lot more money in trading than I have if this was right, if I wasn't so greedy, if I learned to stop. Yeah. So I'm not taking any trades today, but as I was saying, I think I did about 6, maybe 7% yesterday. You don't need to do that every day, do you? Yeah, I've got trader friends that do 10% every week. And as soon as they've hit it, whether it takes them 1 day or 5 days, they'll stop trading when that happens. Right? They'll just stop trading. Which is a beautiful thing. You should do, Alex. If you don't, send me a message on... You need 2 things. One is you need a funded account with PU Prime, and the other is you need to be on Telegram. So if you both of those, give me a shout. And if you haven't, I think you have my number, just message me there and we'll sort that out. And if you haven't got the number, I'll put it on here and you can WhatsApp me. Yeah, I'll put it on here for you. 0100. There you go. If you lost my number, then stick that on there. So then the sell came through, 69, hit TP1, it's going up. If you got it, brilliant, congratulations. If you didn't get it, so be it. So the hour's opened and it's selling. And we were just talking about this, weren't we? Will it retrace back and buy back, or will it continue on its downward trajectory? There you go. See that? It looks huge, doesn't it? Yeah. You can make that as big or as small as you like. Look, nothing there, right? Just have it at a reasonable size. Don't do that. So that was the sell. Could have had a nice profit on that. I think it came down to TP2 quite easily. And on a day like today, just take your things, yeah? $67 is TP2 on that sell. $66, $65 would give you TP3. You should be in profit regardless of what's going on. So we're on the 1 minute. Yeah, make sure, because it's winding back. So the hour is selling again. It's another hour of selling. They'll be buying in between, obviously. So when you look at the different minutes, see what's going on, it does change the market minute by minute by minute. And the smaller the time frame you're on, the more you see those changes. If 5 minutes are quite steady out, you think, okay, 30 minutes a little bit busier, but you're seeing a better picture of the market. Just checking some of my other. See what the market's doing elsewhere. So, got 1 more minute before we hit the next trade card. Nothing's really happened over the last hour in terms of the market. We've got some TP1s and 2s and 3s, as we always do. So if you're going to sit down and trade, that's probably one of the slowest sessions hours that we have had. But there's still plenty of this going on. There's still plenty to go at. There's still plenty of trading to do. And then when it wakes up, like yesterday, it's just, you know, TP2, TP3 after TP2, TP3. Which is, and it happens, and each day the market is slightly different. So it's going back now. So you could have had some nice profits, bypassed, and again, you know, is the market just ranging? So we've still got a sell on the system, but it's a buying candle. So I wouldn't enter that as it would be there. Don't know how far that's going to go up. Lots of neighbours out walking. It's a nice day. I think the kids are off school in Leicestershire. So very light traffic around. Went out after my session yesterday, had a nice lunch, bit of work to do. It's interesting. Some markets going up quite nicely. Trade card was saying sell, wasn't it? Yeah, but you wouldn't have entered that. So see how easy I am about stuff now, because I've got my rules. And then when it gets to 6 minutes past, so it's only been a minute, right? It starts reversing. I may look to take it. If it doesn't, I might just think, right, you know what? 5 minutes down the road or 4 minutes down the road, I've got another trade card. I've got another opportunity. Fascinating. Sorry, I just watch trading all day long. I just watch the charts all day long. So the market seems to be settled at this kind of level. If we look at this now, so we look at the bigger picture, you know, so it's there, 460, 459. It's gone back to this kind of area rather than this area where it was around the 4,000 mark. It's been sitting there for a number of days, as you can see. And if you look at the days, that gives us a better idea of where it's at. So here it's the 4,000s, and there Monday 7th last week, it was around the 4.1. It actually went to nearly 4.2. So that's where it's at. And it's it back up, going back, trying to do this. And I mean, there's a lot of headwinds for gold from the point of inflation, oil, and interest rates in the United States. So oil causes inflation, or the price of oil, a rising oil price causes inflation, which has an effect on the interest rates. And the dollar's up at the moment, so the dollar will be doing exactly the opposite of this. I've shown you this before. So dollar's been buying, gold's been selling. Doesn't always correlate, doesn't always act in unison with gold, with the dollar, but it does a lot of the time. It does an awful lot of the time. So 1 minute. The last trade card was a sell, which you would have made money on. You can see 6 is just about TP2. So let me just check. Past. Let's take sell is what the system is saying, and it's buying, so you wouldn't be entering. It's been really tricky, hasn't it? It's been a really tricky market. There's been money to be made, but it's not the easiest way to make money today. So what you need to do is you need to separate the facts from what's going on there, data rather than what the market's doing. Okay? So the data tracks the market, 32 million data points before it actually comes out with one of these trade cards. It's not somebody that just sits there and thinks, oh, you know what, I'll send out a signal. And so that's what's going on right there. And so that's how that's produced, but the market does whatever it wants to do. So sometimes I get calls, oh, Cam, these trade cards are absolute rubbish. You know what it is? It's not that. It's not that. And I'm not selling you this. I've learned through use of the system as to how it's behaving and what it does. But you need to know what you're using, what the tools are, right? So what's happening is the data is always correct. The market doesn't always do what the data does. And we'll see that sometimes, like when the war happened and the market was going down, we're like, what the hell's going on? Excuse me. What the hell's going on? But then we started reading, then we started learning that. And it was the first conflict that many of us had witnessed. And it was the second one that some of us witnessed because we'd done Ukraine. Then we started looking at Ukraine. At home, this was research. Started looking at Ukraine and say, what had gone on? And it shot up. And literally a few days later, it's back to where it was. Right? This has been a prolonged conflict. 28th of February it started. March, April, May, June. We're in the middle of July. 4.5 months. Okay? So that's a very long conflict in terms of where we are in the world these days. Ukraine obviously has been longer, but this is a different kind of thing. Yeah, oil isn't dependent on Ukraine and all the rest of it, and the Iranians were very, very clever in terms of strategy. They saw the weak point, the bottleneck at the Strait of Hormuz, blocked it, caused a problem for the rest of the world, right? Until they did that, it was largely insignificant what they were doing. So, like I said, so the trade card itself is the data, the market is the market, two separate things. Now, when it works, the market does what the technicals are pointing to. We make a lot of money. When it doesn't, it sometimes struggles. And that's the bit, okay? So, that's the separation. So, as I said, we had buy, sells, neutrals today, which is the only thing that it can actually do. And the reason it does neutrals is because, unlike a human trader, a trader would just carry on or not push anything out for a couple of hours. Because we call this thing, we pull it down. It's a demand-led system. So we pull it in, pull it down, right? So because we do that, the system will sometimes say, don't do anything. Whereas a trader would just not have taken the signal in the first place. So same thing, but in a slightly different way. Just trying to teach you the foibles of the system. There's nothing that's perfect. Neutral, you see. So the market is giving you feedback all the time, giving you guidelines as to how to trade. And the interpretation of that is ours. How we interpret it is ours. Just going to look at my accounts and see what's going on. Get a profit in a couple of trades at the moment. And these are I've called these my runners, and then like I said to you, I've got a fully automated system that runs in my account as well. So I run 3 accounts, 2 of them completely automated, never touch them. Third one automated, but I also trade it. And then when I'm not trading like you guys, it kind of takes up the slack of where I can't. I don't recommend that, by the way. Have a trading account that you trade, have an automated account that you leave alone. Works for me because I no longer trade kind of full time in that respect, because I'm here 5 days a week. And when we're talking, when we're involved, sometimes I miss the time opportunity. So what's happening there is that obviously you shouldn't be missing it. You're welcome to listen to me and learn all the mindset stuff that we do, but at the same time, you're here to trade with me. Take the knowledge, ask the questions. So the market is really, really difficult at the moment this morning to trade in. And there are times when it does this and I'll just think, you know what, let's go away for an hour or two, see what happens. If you're not in any trades, if you're in trades sometimes, and the reason you're usually in trades is because you're in drawdown, and that then it means that you're sitting around, and that causes stress, which I don't enjoy that any longer, so I try not to be. Unless they're runners, in which case, I may have got into a buy really early on, down at the 4,000s or 3,900s. Or I might think about entering a sell when it gets to the top of the market, which is what I was thinking this morning. I didn't really have any time. So when it went to that 80, 84, I thought, has it popped out? But I think I was with you guys at the time, and I thought, I didn't have enough headspace to do that. And it's better not to trade than to have a losing trade. I'll never get poor on the money that I didn't make. 18 minutes, got 2 more minutes. Then we take the next trade card. Been slow this morning, but that's the market. Yeah, can't have RRR all the time. So 1 more minute. Market doesn't seem to be doing anything more than it was earlier today. So no real changes in terms of how it looks like it's going to continue for the rest of the morning. I don't think there's any news, and if there is any news, so we've got a sell, got a down candle, so that looks good. It could be a good trade to get into. 64% as TP1. So if you've not hesitated, that's TP1. You could take the profit, or you could move your stop loss if you were going to wait for TP2 or anything better than that. So that's been to TP2, I believe, at about 64, just about 63.84 is TP2. But you don't need to be waiting around for that. There's profit on the table and you want to take it. Don't think, has it hit TP1? Unless you've set it, obviously, then it will just close the trade out itself. You don't need to worry about that then. Just watching the market, see where it's going, what it's doing. Is it on its way down? Is it consolidating? Or is it just picking up some liquidity to go back up? So we have the sell. You could have TP2 on that. TP1 obviously prior to that. There's always money to be made. Just sometimes it's not noisy, and sometimes there's no sort of big bang bang bang. Just TP2s, TP2, 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s. Do that for long enough, you get your 1, 2, 3%, whatever it is that you're after on a daily basis, right? There's no holy grail of the one trade that you take on a daily basis or a weekly or a monthly. There's something called swing trading, which people do. They're in a trade for days and weeks and sometimes months. But the lot size is tiny and they're in and out of drawdown all day long. And they make 1, 2, 3% a month, if that. We want to make 1, 2, 3% a day. So different type of trading. Can't be in all of those. Got to make a decision as to where you are, how you want to trade, and what you want from this business. Okay. 23 minutes past. Just going to check a couple of things for the next 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, nice. Back to the trader cards. 23 minutes past. So we've got another minute or two before we take the next one. The market's still continuing to come down. 63 would be TP2 on the last trade. $63, yeah, TP2. $24 minutes. So next trade card in 1 minute. I'm trying to leave my phone on something though. It doesn't slide and fall over because I need to check something. I'll leave it here. There you go. So 25 minutes. Let's take that. And that'll take us into the last half an hour of our session together today. Sell, so still saying selling, but the market, as I've shown you before, is showing a green candle. So now you can look, if you want to enter. If that's good enough for you, meets your criteria, 70%. So it's a very confident sell. So that was a sell which we had, and so you would be pushing towards TP1 on that now. So market reverses. A bit of retracement now, but we've had that in all those candles here, haven't we? It doesn't mean that it's reversing. So we've had it there, we've had it here, we've had a little bit here, we've had it here. So there's always an element of this. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying whether it's coming down or going up, but I'm just pointing out to you that, you know, this happens all the time. It's not a straight line that it goes and hits. Yeah, so there's your 1 minute. And again, there's retracement. It could still be coming down. It could start to reverse. So we don't really know. The best thing we do is protect ourselves with
stop losses and TPs, which means that it's an automated system for you then, and it works by itself. Because you hit one of those two. And if you get to your stop loss, and your stop loss is at a point where you won't lose any money, it's a free trade, or it's a guarantee of a profitable trade if you don't move anything. And that's the stages of trading where you want to be, okay? So 9:30 coming up. So we had a sell. We had actually 9:30, but I think we did press the button at 9:50. I'm going to press it again. We had a sell. Market's not really doing anything, or it's going green. So again, like I said, be careful, very, very careful. We don't have a great sense of direction of the market. It is tending to come down, but not by a great deal. So there's not massive movements. So if you think about that from there, 82 to 63, yeah, it's 200 pips. Not a lot these days. Just did it there. Nothing any of us can do about that. New York session may be more lively this afternoon, so you'll have to wait for that one. If you're enjoying trading, and it's genuinely something that you really like, because that's the key element to all of this, isn't it? That you must enjoy what it is that you do. So the market's rising. We had a sell indicator in terms of where the data was pointing, but the market's not been doing what the data has been pointing at for most of the morning today. Let's see if it recaptures the 84 today. And if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. So we were selling 63 or 62 would give you a TP of 1 if you got into that one. Let me just go here because I'm on the 5 minute. So you may not have got into that, and if you did here, and then you'd be at TP1 by now. It's interesting. What I've noticed is that eventually the market will go where the trade cards are pointing, but sometimes when it's ranging, then it's too quick. So say, for instance, it was selling now and it didn't quite happen. If it continued on pointing towards selling, then it would just eventually it would prove itself, because sometimes the market moves after the data moves, and sometimes data is lagging the market. So that's just by the by in what happens. Sometimes we could do good. So still saying selling in terms of the trade card at 35 minutes past. 71% probability score, so it's quite strong in that department. And then it starts buying, right? Interesting, very interesting in what we're doing. It's been a tough market this morning. So let's see what the market's taking us. So she's rising. Let's see what the hour's done. So the hour's been selling. Yeah. So 82 to 62, 84 to 62. So we've been to 84, 61. Been to 60. That's your 5 minutes. It couldn't hold what we were saying this morning in terms of its helpful house, obviously is way above that. but it couldn't go any higher than that. It may climb back, and there's some indicators that are indicating that it will climb back. And when I say indicators, what I mean is the market. I don't use indicators. So the market talk, what I'm seeing, yeah. But it's the market. The market does what the market does, right? 39 minutes, one more minute to the 9:40 trade card. Got about 20 minutes together. Hope it's been useful. Hope you had some education. Education is the key. Yeah, the making the money part will come. You'll get that. You can lose money, you can make money. Don't make it the central pillar of what you do in terms of trading. It's important, but learning to trade is more important. Hope you get that. Yeah? Learning about you, learning about what you want is far more important than making money in the early stages. Okay? Knowledge is far more powerful than making a bit of profit, because when you first do that, it's usually out of luck. And then you don't know, you start thinking you can walk on water, and then down the road you can hit a big problem. Yeah, we took an account in a couple of months from £3,000 to £23,000. Yeah, worst thing that ever happened, because you think you can walk on water. Yeah, it took us a long time to get it to that level again after dropping. So it gives you a false sense of achievement when it's more luck than actual achievement itself. I hope you understand that. And not a lot of people tell you those things, right? Because they've never lived them, so they've never done it, so they don't know it. So that was a sell that the market's buying, so we don't put that in. Don't go down that route. And in this case, the market's been so difficult because it's been buy, sell. And it's so difficult then to trade it. Not that impossible. We trade it, not a problem. Just checking some data for myself on. The market was saying, the data cards were saying sell. Market immediately was rising. There's the sell. Eventually does it. That's what I was saying about the data, the trade cards, sometimes being in front of the market, sometimes being behind the market. In terms of the data's there, that the market behaves or does what the data points to slightly differently, slightly delayed. So as I said, my obsession isn't that you're in trades all the time. My obsession is that you learn to trade all the time. There's a big difference. You trade comfortably. You trade, when you're ready, when you're confident. Knowledge will give you the confidence. Levels of anxiety, levels of knowledge are inextricably linked. Yeah. More knowledge, less anxiety. Less knowledge, more anxiety. "44 minutes, 1 more minute, we take the next one. It's strange, these 200 pips that the market's raised this morning, that's all it used to be all day long, 250, 300 pips. That used to be $25, $30. So when we used to trade within that, all of these we'd be trading. But there was none of the tools that you guys have got today or we've got today. It was just pure technical analysis and a lot of gut feeling. So 45 minutes. Still saying sell. So that was a good one. It'll be about TP1 now, depending on where you go in and when you press the button. Yeah, that's TP1. As I said, it's a day, isn't it? TP1s. And that's where you take. Reg is not here today, he's preparing for surgery. He always mentions that, you know, it's a TP1 day. And he'll actually say that. And he'll just take TP1s. You've got to adapt to the market. Right, there's no point in doing the same thing every day because the market is different every day. Okay, some days is a big selling day, sometimes a big buying day. Interesting. So we have the sell, had TP1. See where the market takes us now. Let's have a look on the hour, see what it's done. Big selling hour, taken out that these 2 hours have taken out the 7 till 8, which was a pre-London. So London is now back selling again. So the minutes, the 5 minutes. There you go. Definitely selling something. Or selling at the moment. It can, of course, turn at any point and retrace all the way back up. And that's why we have stop losses. That's why we have TPs. That's why we protect our accounts all the time. So again, like I said to you, better to get educated than trade. It's better to preserve your account and make profit. Preserve your capital. Be careful when you're trading. Go in and come out. And coming out is just as important, or knowing when to come out is just as important as coming in. Yeah, sometimes we get greedy. I get done, just like everybody else does. It's going to do this, it's going to do this. Yeah, take the profit, don't overthink it. You don't have to overthink anything. Okay? So the market's clearly, beginning to, it's coming down, but it went right up. So it could be a difficult day for some people, depending on which way they're going. So 49 minutes. And as soon as we take this next trade, I'm just going to take 2 minutes out. Back in a jiffy, right? I've forgotten to stand today, haven't I? I've just sat here. I don't like doing that. 49, so 50 minutes. We're going to take the trade card. Then I'm just going to take a quick loo break. Apple Watch, stand, time to stand. I haven't done that today. 50. Still selling. So have a look at that. You've got the trade card. Give me 2 minutes. I should be back straight away. It was an interesting move whilst I was away.
About 30, 40 pips. Interesting indeed. So that wants to do. Definitely just ranging at this moment in time. Doing no more. Maybe add the drop now. So I've been ranging in this area around the 60 mark, 70, 60, 65 for a little while now. So that's your 30 minutes. That's your hour. That's the 1 minute before we did 55 minutes. I'm going to take the last trade signal now, or the trade card. And we'll see where the market is trying to get to. As I said, it's been difficult. Not ranging in the normal sense of the word. So there's no breakouts either way. So that's 55. Let's see where we go. Still selling. Should put that sell on, shouldn't I? 84 when I was like, got distracted with you guys. That would have been a nice 250 pip drop now. But hey, never ever think never get FOMO about this market. The thing about opportunities in the market is that there's one coming every minute. There's opportunity all the time. Yeah, if you're looking for some reading material, Trading in the Zone, particularly Chapter 11, is something that a lot of traders read almost religiously on a day-to-day basis. A lot of my trader contacts and friends read the chapter of that, or some form of it, every single day. So, market's buying. At this moment in time, wouldn't have got into that trade. I'll take one with you at 10 o'clock before I wrap up and see where we go with that. Not been the most easiest of trading sessions today, but hey, that's the market, right? We're not fair weather traders, are we? Yeah, because we trade every day. This muscle, use it every day. It's our job, it's our sidekick, it's our future. See where we go. So the data was saying sell, the market's buying. And that simple rule of not getting into a trade when it's going in the opposite, in the market's doing the opposite direction, would have saved us a lot over the last few days, particularly over the last few days, because it has been very, very choppy.
So we've got 1 minute. Now what I'll do is I'll take the 10 o'clock trade card with you and just see where the market is. Then I should wrap up for the day, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you very much for all your support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It really helps me. Spreads it wider. I can do better content. I can dedicate more time. YouTube shows it to more people. So if you want to help your people, friends, share the channel, by the way. But like 300, 400 people share this channel with other people. So, you know, I don't sell you anything. There's no adverts, no nothing. We're not plugging anything other than come and work with us if you like what we do. And if you just want to watch, that's fine. Yeah, whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you more successful. And success isn't always about money. It is a lot of the time, right? Materialistic world and all that, and you know, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just watching, fascinated by what goes on. So maybe now she's on that way back. So just sitting there now. That one. Refresh for the last time. Still saying sell. So that's the data. The market's doing something opposite. Be careful with your trading. I'll see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. An absolute pleasure. My name's Cam Johal. Trade with Cam. Trade for yourself. Never buy yourself. That's the essence of why I'm building this community. Yeah. Trading by yourself is a pain in the backside. Come and join us. Bring your friends. Tell people about it. We're selling nothing other than good advice and decent indicators in terms of where the market is going. We'll try and do that. Okay? Take care, guys. All the best. See you tomorrow.